What is going on, guys? So I know we haven't put a video up, and today is going to be the first series of the Mazda B22 shop truck. And today's series, what we're going to do, or in this episode, what we're going to do is go over the amount of money spent to get this bad boy looking how it looks today. And believe it or not, it's far cheaper than anybody would actually think. And how it started is a whole nother deal. Like what we started off with, and if you've seen some of the other three videos, you would have seen like that it was a very like gray, all primer, stock wheels kind of truck, and then it started getting decked out. So in this episode, we're going to go over what we did and how we did it and how much it cost and how you can do it too. Me and this guy right here, it is hot. Really, really hot. Let's get to it. Alright, so first things first, let's start off with this bad boy powerhouse engine of a 4-cylinder engine thing. So what did we do in here? So first we started off with a electronic Weber, and the cool thing about this is you got to eliminate all sorts of pipes, tubings, etc, etc, etc. And so this was a very nice touch. It is your stock 2.2 liter 4-cylinder Mazda B22 engine. So we got all of it eliminated. Gabe was cool enough to like go ahead and throw some engine paint on that. He was testing out some valve cover paint on this, which we obviously need to redo. Looks nice from far away, far from good, good from far. It did get a new battery, but that's usually a must in these old trucks. Like it hadn't been used or moved in such a long time. There is a bunch of random crap hanging around here, extra wires, which one day I'll go through and eliminate and get rid of. And here too. And of course we still need to take the time to shorten up some vacuum lines. Now the compressor is off. The one that we had in there was actually stuck, so I ordered a new one. But before I put it on, I wanted to show you how like I actually made a block off plate for the aluminum tubing that came all the way to the other stock carburetor. So with this block off plate, all I did was get a thin piece of metal, traced out the original design, and cut it out, made some screw holes, bolted it back in, boom, block off plate. Another thing we've done, or I've done, is just recently changed the oil pan gasket. It was leaking a little, so we got that changed, flushed the radiator, got new spark plugs, put your Lucas oil in there. I'm a fan of that stuff. And that's pretty much it so far. So got to get that engine compressor or that AC compressor put in, and then we'll keep going over the truck. Next we move on to these bad boys. LED 7-inch halo Bluetooth ring headlights. Now these go basically on your standard Jeep Wrangler. They also go for a Harley Davidson. Well, just the one. You don't need the two for the Harley. And then the actual rings that hold them on that are adjustable, so you can still move them around. They can still have the spring to bounce around and stuff like that. Okay, so this whole front end was painted with a Krylon double coverage satin black. Now the grille was chrome, so that is sitting now in a black, which actually gave it a real nice finish. The actual radiator support and framing behind the grille was also painted in the same color. This whole front end, less than a can, which runs just a few bucks at your friendly Walmart or any other kind of store that sells spray paint, Home Depot, etc. So, also the drive lights were also changed out, or I think those might be the blinkers. Yeah, blinkers were changed out. Of course, they're an LED bulb, cheap. And also like the clear markers were also put in there. Let me take off this grill so we can show you how those headlights are mounted. Okay, so here we go. Unfortunately the little bolt's already resting. It's okay, we can always swap that out. But it's your standard halo LED ring, 7-inch. You can find it on Amazon or eBay. Then we have the actual mounting ring in the back. So it holds on with actually the stock screw holes. The only thing you see, there's another one. I think it all just fit back on. Put the actual spring there. So everything actually worked out perfectly fine. So if you buy the mounting ring for a Jeep Wrangler or a Harley Davidson, some are sold singly, some are sold by the pair. Just get those on, and then we painted that radiator support, or the front support, the same satin black. I am going to take the time to custom make some nice bezels that sit around it and sit perfectly in that grille. Let's keep going with it. Alright, so now that we're on the topic of paint, I'm sure you all have noticed this top of the line, beautiful, old school, out of the ordinary pistachio green. That's right, boys and girls, that's a pistachio green, not avocado, don't mistake it. I'm talking about pistachio. Now, believe it or not, that is also spray painted. And I know if you all saw like the past episodes, you would have seen that it got spray painted by Gabe himself. Now the cool part about this is that it holds up very well. It's also Krylon, and it also is a satin finish. It has not been wet sanded. It really doesn't need to be. Let's go up close. So this is how it looks up close. And if you see some specks and stuff like that, that's actually from the stupid tree. But it is all spray painted with no wet sanding, no nothing. No clear or anything of the sort. So that's how we accomplish that. Now, I know spray painting isn't always the easiest for all to do, but luckily it's something that we're actually very, very good at. So we accomplished this bad, cool, bleep, whatever, paint job just by spray paint. 6 or 7 cans, I believe, and it got done. We found these mirrors. They're a JDM styled mirror. Now we got these bad boys, I believe either off Amazon or eBay, where most of the product is from. And we got it off of there. We went with that old school kind of style because one, we really dig the JDM look. I know I do. And for the Bearded Panda Fab Shop, we definitely are going to stick to like old school racing kind of style. So that's why we incorporated these. These not very expensive, and they are very cool. They are adjustable. And believe it or not, I can see out of it. We also have a wink mirror, which helps, you know, see all your surroundings. It is not on at the moment. I took it off to actually design to put the shop logo on. So these also went spray painted a satin finish, black. Now also the emblem, took those bad boys off and did those a satin finish along with the side caps. Those bad boys were sanded down to take off all the old plastic and also painted. So luckily, like 95% of the bodywork was already done, so it was pretty easy to get to this point. Now next are these bad boys right here. Now these are your standard Bart wheels, steel, kind of like a NASCAR styled wheel, on a 15 by 10, and it still has a 6 lug original Mazda B22, and those are wrapped in epoxy rubber. These shoes are very nice, very cheap for the size, I think, but it's actually very cool. So remember, steel Bart wheels, you can find those bad boys on eBay. Now to actually rock this height, you know, I know they make drop spindles, but believe it or not, this is actually a torsion bar drop. The ride is a little bouncy, but it's not all that bad. But we actually moved the lower control arm from the bottom to the top. And I've seen a couple of guys online do it. And so it gives us about an extra half an inch, give or take, drop. And so that actually set us right where we wanted to be on these little 15 by 10, since they do have some pretty good pokage. Didn't want to be hitting and all that stuff. And the rear is a 3-inch drop block. And so yeah, it gave us a perfect stance. You know, of course we could like be slammed, but let's face it, like all the like components underneath sit rather low as it is, and it is our shop truck, so didn't want to be hitting everything like our cars. So that's how we got that suspension height. Now let's go check out the inside. Boom, your badass original 93 Mazda B22 interior. So got some carbon fiber wrap on here. Unfortunately the sun did take it here, but don't worry, we'll get that redone. Your standard panels, manual windows, and the interior headrest taken off, you know, just to kind of like keep that tuck away look from when you're looking at it underneath. Still has your stock crappy steering wheel, and the only thing that's kind of changed is a Bluetooth radio, but the speakers don't sound worth a crap, so we got to get that upgraded as well. But this interior isn't going to stay this way. It is nice and clean still. Dashboard is pretty much still decently intact, but it's going to spare parts, spark plugs, valve cover gasket, all that good fancy jazz. But it's not going to stay like this. Of course, we're going, remember, JDM styled racing. So, but it's clean. No tint on the windows. Being in South Texas, I'm almost thinking I might put a 10%, just a slight tint. But yeah, it gets hot down here. Hopefully with that AC compressor, I'll get some nice cool air. Alright, so far we've tallied it up to be pretty cheap. You know, it's just a lot of know-how. You can't forget about that badass bearded panda peaker sticker. That's always a must on these bad boys. Gotta support. Next, we did a spray-on bed liner. This was kind of a cheap one. You know, these are the ones that you can find around. We're looking at upgrading this bed liner soon, but we wanted to at least have some kind of protection on the truck. And of course, it's not super duper black because it sits in the shop and just gets a bunch of the body filler dust on it. So just got to get some more. I just washed it, so it's got to get a power wash and maybe even like kind of Armor All or something, just to kind of look a little cleaner. Once I find a better bed liner, we'll definitely do a series on that on the truck. Now on the rear, went with the like classic clear tells. Now these you can get off Amazon, and it's got nice LEDs on the inside, so it's real nice and bright. The frame also has been painted. It was a chrome. We still have to take the time to chrome out that rear tailgate handle, and I definitely want those Mazda word letters to pop, so that's going to go also in a black. Just need to take the time to do it. Won't be very long. Now if I don't do the exhaust, like a cool little dual exhaust out of this area here, I want to make some badass aluminum block off plates, which I'll definitely show you how that's done, and utilize all the same holes so it gives it that cool rivet racy look. Okay, which I'll probably even like go into a black as well. Ah, Max! He's like dying of heat, trying to stay around. Ah, I think that's it. He's a goner. Yep, this is all he does. It's so hot around here. No joke, South Texas, we're pushing over 90 something. Very hot. Very, very hot. But anywho, all things next. Definitely got everything painted. The little hubs painted, the disc or the brake covers painted as well. So that way the center, because these wheels don't come with the center cap. And so, yeah, that's how we got it where we got it today. You know, like it doesn't take much. Drop blocks are cheap with the U-bolts. You know, paint job, cheap. And soon that interior upgrade will be coming in, starting with steering wheel, of course, and speakers, just to kind of sound better. And it's all going to keep going uphill. Alright, so I'm sure you've been tallying up as we went around the truck. Not very much at all. I'm trying to think of all the other little things that have been done just to get it like running, you know, decently. Like I said, hasn't been much at all. You know, before we go and do a full run around the truck in the sun, I'm going to go ahead and talk about the things that we do plan on doing. So let's get to that too. Okay, one thing that I know that I definitely need to get done, that I know you can see behind me, is those right there. So we pulled off the mirrors because obviously you don't need them since I have this bad boy here, the wink mirror up there, but this needs to get covered. I've already thought of all different kinds of ways. Like I could fiberglass one, I could aluminum plate it, I can whatever, put the plastic cap back on and glue it on. One of those bad boys is going to go on very soon. We definitely want to keep the rainwater out of there, and it looks kind of shitty like that, so definitely a must to get those covered up very soon. So that's mod number 1 that's coming up. Let's keep going around this bad boy and checking it out. Okay, now that I know I've mentioned in the past, grill for sure. Custom grill coming up. I'm going to definitely either order a new one or work with this one. I'm not sure. Like, I like the original grill. I like to hold on to it, so I might do order another one and mod that one. But that one is definitely changing. Now remember, we're going for the old school JDM race look. That's what Bearded Panda Fab's all about. So we definitely want to stick to that. So that bad boy is changing. Custom making a rear valance for this. So it gives that racy look, sits a little lower, gives it cool aerodynamics. Probably, as much as I like it, we might delete this, but it's kind of cool. It gives it that old school look. Definitely a new windshield. Paint around the windshield. It's still in that nice chrome finish, but I figured there's no point in painting it until we change it because I know it's going to get all scraped up. And because we are Bearded Panda Fab, just as I've had asked several times, yes, ladies and gentlemen, this bad boy is probably going to get wide-bodied. Yep. It's going to get that race look. And so to get that race look and to account for these really fat wheels and tires, we definitely need a wide body. So I'm debating whether to do it as a kit available for sale or just do it for this truck alone. Not sure. More than likely a kit because we are Bearded Panda Fab and we got to get kits out. So that's probably going to be coming up in the near future. Definitely a must. Boom, engine swap. This bad boy definitely needs a new cool racing engine. Can't just look fast, it's got to go fast. And like I said, we are doing interior mods, starting with the steering wheel, speakers, then eventually I think the panels might go race. Remember, it's going to be a race, JDM race truck, so interior is getting modded as well. New bed liner. Very, very, very light tint because I just need to have some UV protection. But I like to be able to see through the windows. I still think it looks cool. Definitely new exhaust. If we do an engine upgrade, we're going to go ahead and customize an exhaust to either come out of the rear, come out of the fender, or utilize these two holes. But definitely not putting on a bumper pan because it actually looks pretty cool like this. Like I said, once we get this kind of modded up, it'd be really cool. So at the moment, that's what we're looking at. I don't know, maybe some 4-inch drop blocks, but I think this 3-inch is actually pretty good. Yeah. All right, boys and girls. So you know what? If you like the truck, keep following. Definitely going to keep doing some work on this bad boy. It can't stay this way. This is stage 1. Just wanted to go over about expenses and how you yourself can make your B2200 or any other little single cab hard body truck look this cool with just a few bucks in your hand. You know, it didn't take much. The truck alone, cheap, and then all the parts, cheap. So as long as you know how to do it yourself, definitely get it done. And if you have any questions, comments, leave them down below. And go ahead and hit subscribe. That's the #1 thing. So that way you can see what's going to be happening to this bad boy and have stage 2 come through. So remember, this is episode 1 of the shop truck. And yeah, I want to thank you guys for watching. Let's go take a quick cinematics around this bad boy in the sun. Thanks for watching.